What's happening, everyone? Welcome back. Thursday. I told you we're going every day this week. Probably. Still got tomorrow. We'll see about tomorrow. But welcome to the show. Got a great one lined up for you today. Actually, I have guests today. I think maybe the first time this week I've had guests because I've been going solo. Been solo streaming for a bit. Covering a lot of stuff. Amazing tweets from the big man. We got some fun ones to talk about as well. So, anyways, without further ado. Oh, actually, let me keep going for a second because Dr. Wolf is so covered up there. Do a little dance, make a little gains, get down tonight, make a little dance, do a little gains, get down tonight, So yeah, I told you, Max is bullish, he dances. I might have said that once or twice. Talk to the chat real quick as well. Pete, it may, I've said this before, meme coin, is it going to peg to $1? That's the hard part to sell these days. Is it going to hit $1? I mean, anything is possible, right? But like, I don't know. There's that theory has been through a lot lately. So I'm not sure. A lot of people, they like one side or the other. Anyways, Hex Monkey, how's it going? Good afternoon. Good morning. Good day, wherever you are. Bang, bang, Pulse Gang. Welcome, gentlemen. Magic Carpet Ride is in the house. Where are we gonna get a Magic Carpet Ride? I think every time I hear Richard say that, especially the former streams, as if it's never gonna happen again. I don't want to say it's never gonna happen again, but the previous streams have been. Every time I hear it, it's like, that's the thing. That's the thing I'd like to have. That's the thing that it's. I'm betting the place is, instead of a rug pull, a Magic Carpet Ride, the opposite of a rug pull. Morning, Lad Lewis. How's it going? Logie33 is here. Lunacy Point. Welcome. Vizex. The Chad of Chads entered the chat. And we might as well get the other Chads in here. Welcome back to the TripletDad, Fast Abdoul, and SaintWolf. How's it going, gents?
Hey, boys.
Good. How are you, buddy?
What's happening, everybody?
Looking strong today. Muscles in your brains. Mm-hmm. SaintWolf's got the guns out.
Indeed.
The starting music, the intro music reminds me of Knight Rider.
That's right. I've heard that before. Yeah. Oh, it may have been from you. Yeah. I get a vibe from that as well a little bit.
I'm a little bit older than you guys. I may have watched Knight Rider on a 13-inch color in my room when I was little, right? But yeah, definitely Knight Rider vibes.
You had a color TV in your room? Wow.
Oh yeah.
I only had a black and white TV.
I had to go up from the little 13-inch. I had a 13-inch black and white, went to color when my folks bought a new TV.
We're not joking. We really had black and white televisions. For real.
For real?
For real.
Yeah.
I've seen those on television before.
Yeah.
Turn the black and white TVs on the color TV.
Yeah, I've only seen black and white TVs on color TV. There.
It's like SaintWolf used to watch a lot of documentaries, and he definitely knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's very cool.
I thought Matt read the same thing. Yeah. I like that. I mean, it does have, it's kind of, again, shout out to Markable. Creates a lot of amazing content. Worked with him. Man, it's been 2 years now or so getting that. I made my own at first. I still like my original one. It's still pretty good. I made it in Canva. You can make videos in Canva, which was just like nobody even figured that. Yeah. Still to this day, nobody knows you can do that. And I forgot how to do it. You can do it, but I forgot how to do it. I tried to do it the other day. I couldn't do it.
I'm sorry. Where's Canada?
Oh, Canva.
Oh, Canva.
Yeah, Canva.
You can make videos in Canada too. It's harder though. It's more.
They haven't outlawed videos yet in Canada.
Do you guys still have civil liberties there? I thought they were all taken away.
More than most.
Yeah, they're taxed highly though. Videos in Canada are taxed.
100% tax.
That's right. Actually, Canada does a lot of movies are filmed in Canada that you probably don't know. Like rather than filming in LA or New York, they'll film in Vancouver because it's cheaper. Because of the Canadian peso price.
A lot of people are leaving Hollywood to go film in other areas, other countries.
That's right. Well, the UK is an option. Georgia's got a lot of business, a lot of tax stuff these days as well.
Yep.
It's almost like people go where their money's treated best. They tend to pick options like that.
Shocker.
I like that.
Yeah. Gents, how's the chain going? How are you all going? Bullish, bearish? First initial sentiments. Whoever wants to jump in there.
I am bullish. That's how I
I
feel.
too am bullish.
Bullish.
I do hate it though when our number starts with a 2. It's not my favorite for Pulse, right? Is the one I'm always looking at. Not a big fan of Pulse starting with a 2. Unless it kills a 0. Then I would be happy.
Oh, I'm about to say there's a $2 argument for that. Yeah. 20 cent. We got a lot of cool 2s we could do. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind some of those 2s, but yeah. Have we hit all-time low?
No, we have started with 1s before.
Okay. I've heard there's some dumping.
Yeah, we have a big dumper. Isn't he almost out?
I saw somebody was tracking something here. God, I don't know if I bookmarked it. It's gonna bring up a couple things around that, but it's not even it's I don't know. Let me see. Let's see. So let's start off with that real quick. Let me pull this up. So shout out to Piteous. They do a lot of they have excellent product and a lot of excellent tweets. I love to see get some insight from people who know the blockchain so good and stuff as well. So smart traders have noticed that PLS sell pressure on Ethereum are now using some lending protocols and PulseChain to their advantage. So they're single side providing ETH in a low price range on Ethereum. So I'll back up for a second too, but there's basically some dumping from Whale, something from PLS, and then they were using MetaMask to do it. And it was something around the Ethereum was spelled out. Yeah. This seems like a delivery transmits Richard spells out Ethereum from whatever message. I don't know if it was in encoded or if it was in price coded. I don't know what it was. And then and then there we go. That's where it came from. Okay. And then Richard tweeted about the pissing reference is probably aimed at this pun intended or not, aimed at this exact situation. And this tweet happened around the same time or a similar time that everyone was kind of confused about. Like when I saw it, I was just like, is this Scivive advice? Like, did I read this somewhere before? Is this just life advice in general? I really didn't read into it I didn't get the reference for the dumping, but.
Was it the last line there? Like, could be fun to split the beam for non-peeing purposes. I suppose that could be referring to something.
What does split the beam mean?
I think he's talking about splitting the liquidity and moving some of the Pulse over on Ethereum. I think.
Yeah, that's not a terrible marketing plan. I know a guy who has lots of Ethereum that he could pair against the Pulse.
That'd be interesting. Start seeing cow swaps with freaking PulseChain with Pulse on Ethereum. That would be interesting. That's marketing, if you think about it, right? Having Pulse on other chains is marketing, guaranteed.
Yeah, what if like all the buying happened on PulseChain and all the selling happened on Ethereum? That makes some nice PulseChain charts. Like if all the buying happened on PulseChain, like but the selling happened on Ethereum.
X monkey, my last $2 until the prices go up. Spend it wisely.
I know every time I see a super chat, I'm like, wait, did it get turned on automatically by YouTube? Because of course I don't monetize, but yeah, when restreaming, everyone else's channel gets to do it. So,
woohoo!
Pretty.
Artie, what's happening? Gee,
crypto. So do you think I got that $2?
I not sure which one. So yeah, you're the only one streaming on restreaming on YouTube. So yeah, must be. Yeah.
All right, then I'll
because it ain't me.
I can stream this too. Actually, let me see if this works.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll spend it on a cigar.
You might also get $2 as well, SaintWolf. You may get $20. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get paid for restreaming. What?
You can get paid if you choose to get paid. People sometimes send you money. It is a way. It is a thing on the internet. Yeah.
Let's see if this works.
Yeah, this is. I can't. I don't know. This one, I feel like I need. If I wouldn't have had Piteous's take on this, I would have never even thought twice about that. And there's some other tweets and stuff that talk about more in detail, but I don't know. I just can't think about selling, and I can't think of. I just don't know what the strategy would be at this point. Once you've seen, and I'll bring up one other RH tweet. which is
because you're paying a little bit to take it across the bridge, right? You're paying your 0.3 to take it over there. I don't know if the prices over on PulseChain are 0.3 higher than they are on if they're 0.3 higher on Ethereum. I also don't know if how that arbitrage is working out for that guy. I haven't even followed it that much. Yeah.
Was it? So my thought was that there were people taking advantage of it, getting the arbitrage on the other side who weren't the whales. There was like people seeing the whales doing it, and then they were taking advantage of it on Ethereum. That's what I first thought.
Yeah. I think people were adding like V3 LP positions to get dumped into that would bounce back and absorb the fees, because it doesn't really make sense right now to sell Pulse on Ethereum. Like there's much less liquidity. So I think people were arbitraging that via liquidity providing and just bridging back and forth.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to sell Pulse on PulseChain, let alone Ethereum, right?
Not at these prices.
Yeah, not at these prices.
Yeah, the confusing part is the whale. Yeah, the confusing part is the whale's dumping, but people are picking it up, which is I mean that's not confusing, but it's just like, why sell off now? Like, can you even get, without pushing the price up a lot afterwards? Like the whales, where they have like so many billion PLS, can they even get it back? Is it literally just like, I'm leaving at what could be all-time lows? Like I don't know. I can't come up with a argument for it, or unless they're just really betting against this ecosystem.
Well, look, you don't know somebody's circumstances, right? Somebody could be over leveraged somewhere else. Somebody could be extraordinarily convinced that the market's about to tank. This is the game, right? For people to buy, there's people to sell, and lucky for us, maybe now we'll get, you can DCA, scoop up some good prices, and maybe the person's not even making a mistake for them. Maybe there's just somewhere else they want to put the capital that they're convinced is going to run even harder, right? You never know the situation.
Yeah. I mean, I wish him the best. I see
all the best, right?
Yeah.
I think the timing works out really well, to be totally honest, in terms of I'd rather see them dump right now, because we get great prices. B, I don't think the market was ready to rip right now anyway. So it works out really well for people, especially who are buying more. I know I'm going to take some nibbles as well. So this is going to be a great place to get some more. And rather than, let's say, maybe 3 months from now, when I'm more convinced that we may be moving into much, much higher prices, right? And he seems like he's got a pretty big bag. So it's kind of nice to see him exit now. So
yeah. And the marketing, got the two more months market. We'll get into that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Where is
well, he just said that recently. He literally gave us 2 months. So that puts us August, right? Moving into the fall, right?
If you take it up front, I mean, he's also said he's really bad at giving timelines before. But my best guess, and so yeah, this is what I want to pull up too. The one that I've speculated on before too. A lot of people talked about, is this to do with the Interpol tax stuff, all that? Now we know. Hey guys, it's been 2 months. Have you set up a nonprofit? This was for the electronic video postcard, like whatever's happening there. But you would have never known that just by this tweet, right? But now it's like, so guys, it's been 2 months. Have you set it up? Because I don't know if you all been following that thread.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, let's spell that out.
Okay, so let me go to.
So why was he being specific about Australia and UK for the nonprofit? He was very specific this time.
So let me go to the shipping container thing. Where is it? Did I pass it?
Both are centers of control of the control grid. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, right?
The control grid, the Five Eyes. I'm not sure.
They both are known for bad food. The control grid. Come on.
They are both known for bad food. Actually, there's good food in Australia.
All right. Yeah, there's some good food, but it's all deep fried. That's what makes it good, though.
Seafood, though. Yeah.
Okay.
There's some good Aussie seafood.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. And
I don't want to get into the thing in the chat while my pronunciation of Aussie or whatever the fuck. Come on. I know I'm about to hear it. So
is that a controversial thing?
it's a thing, man. It's a thing, and they're about to open up. I can feel it coming.
Are you an American or Hexcan? Yeah, that's controversial too. So this is so say if you haven't seen the shipping container, we're going to fill you in
I
on
did
the
see
shipping
it,
container.
but yeah, I'd love to go into that a little deep here. There's so many crazy things going off on X right now.
So the idea I think so far, did we lose fast Abdoul? He'll be back. He got wrecked. He'll be back. So the idea so far,
he's the dumper. Actually, he's gonna go.
He's like, oh no. Maybe it's not a good idea to keep dumping. Maybe I should turn off the bot now.
He's having a change of heart.
Yeah. So the idea, I think probably the best speculation I could put together so far from this is he's facilitating or suggesting for the community to find companies that can facilitate a bunch of different devices that can be mailed out, have batteries, and all over the world. And I guess doing that in different countries, I guess mailing them from the same country like makes sense if you got some Australia and US and Europe broadly and like all these different countries, like whatever countries in Europe and whatever countries in Asia, I don't know. But having them local to have, I guess, like kind of like fulfillment center type things, but container receiving places to do fulfillments to mail out the things to people.
Oh, I could do it from here because our labor is about half of what it is in the rest of Europe. So we could get this done here, no problem.
Okay, well there you go. That's what he's saying. Like, and there's a Ciplex group or something. So, and there's a Telegram. So
I'm heavily connected in also the Balkans too. So we could get this done elsewhere, but things move very slow there. One thing I'll say about where I am, things get done like very fast, like right on time. So if it's a time issue, I'd say we could do it here. If it's something you don't mind, a little slow and kind of done on its own time, we could get it done in Albania or Montenegro.
Wow. But yeah, this is so it looks like that is what. So when I reference this one, that's what he was talking about. Again, a little speculation around this was around the Interpol stuff where he had it set up in tax-free entity, which is you could say it's probably still correct as well. We're like the best guess. But for this, he was talking about people setting up nonprofit things to send out to receive, I guess, marketing materials to then send out all over the world from those particular countries that have batteries. So that's what it means now. Didn't know that before. Do you have connections? You're gonna start calling? I mean, that's what he wants. That's what he's suggesting. What large fulfillment or bulk mailing company can turn 40 foot containers full of free electronic gifts into mail globally?
Okay, I get where this is going. Yeah.
A million.
So it
Sounds
sounds
million
like he's
onboarding.
trying to ship a container to those particular places and then have it go out local. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Fast is back.
And
turn off your selling bot.
Sorry, there was a thunder and lightning and the power went up. And then it came back on. This means
it's funny. Right while you were gone, the dumping stopped.
Yeah, we got some green candles as soon as you popped off. Yeah, you turned the bot off. Good. No, just
something. What a large.
Go ahead, Ting.
I think this is for sure a marketing thing, though, right?
Yeah.
He's bringing in something with batteries and a whole bunch of it, like a crap load of them. Like 2 containers would contain a lot of mailable items, right? So what are those items?
5 containers.
5. Oh man. Yeah. No.
Well, he says 1 million here, so I figure 1 million to start with.
Could be sex toys.
Could be. Yeah.
He does have.
I'm not sure how much pleasure you're going to get out of a 65-gram sex toy, though.
That battery is also not very powerful, so you got to consider design. It's a little tiny battery. I don't know what they do with batteries these days.
Yeah, it could be some really cool marketing for sure. 40 containers.
Could be hardware wallets.
It could be. It could be, or some access to some software wallet somewhere.
Those little tiny batteries that he's referencing are those little disc batteries that are in your car remotes. The CI2025s are those.
Yeah, they're tiny. I wouldn't want my hardware wallet to have one of those in them, to be totally honest. So it may be something more like,
Have you guys ever received one of those birthday cards that has one of those little tiny batteries in it, and it does lots of action, and it has a pre-recorded message in it? It says "Happy birthday," blah 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 blah.
yeah.
Could be something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That goes in the mail easily.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't rule out I think it is most likely like a physical, like video or multimedia of some sort, onboarding card, or I don't know, like the display, little displays where you put pictures and stuff on, but maybe it's like a very low power one or something. But also hard
2.0, you know,
I mean,
like
the most likely action is a postcard of some sort like that, but like a really cool one. But also it could be, I was talking to the AI about this too, other onboarding devices. It could be like a temporary wallet that literally, because imagine if you give someone a postcard, like say it is some sort of onboarding, like, hey, here's PulseChain, here's why you should, sign up, whatever. And here's a little wallet, touch your phone with the NFC based stuff or whatever, and it'll give you some pulse to your wallet. Like some kind of, I think it could be like a one-time temporary type of use type of wallet. I suspect it could be something of that too, but also could just be a video of Richard saying, I beat the SEC and you should join my club.
The PDI community is pretty much convinced that it's some kind of PDI gift card or an amount of PDI.
That's so ridiculous.
Hey,
God.
Are you laughing at the PDI community?
No,
TripletDad?
I would never.
I'm laughing with them for sure.
Yeah. I made a little bit of money on PDI, you guys. Back in the day, I started seeing it moving back and forth, so I swing traded that for a bit. I don't have any
smart man. I'm waiting for my pennies to turn into dollars. I am. Yeah. I'm holding. Oh, now you guys are laughing at me. That's great. Yeah.
You're talking about Hex, right? You're talking about Hex, I think.
Yeah.
Pennies turn into
waiting
dollars.
for those pennies turn into dollars too.
Sub pennies turn into dollars. Yeah.
It's all sub pennies.
This is one of the rare times that you're for sure wrong, buddy. Those batteries last an extra long time, sir.
They could be lithium. They
They do last a long time.
Well, you think about how long one of those fobs lasts in your car thing, right?
Yeah.
And I know that I've gone into drawers that had one of those birthday cards that I open it again and it makes a whole bunch of noise. Freaking 3 years later.
That's good.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about you got a card before that had one of those alpha batteries in it.
It lasted forever.
Based on those batteries, so it probably won't be a video thing, right? Because that would burn that battery. Your car remote lasts for a long time because it's not burning a lot of juice.
Right.
I feel like it's not video.
It's not a video. It's not cardboard dancing girls.
Well, it's got to be, if it's not video, I can't imagine just an audio window, because what would it say if it was audio? What would be compelling to make it audio?
This is Richard Hart. I called
Bitcoin top on the day.
Hey, Richard Hart here. I'd like you to go to PulseChain.com.
I gave $27 million to charity. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to have all of that stuff. And I created a new chain to make some Ethereum faster, cheaper, stronger. Yeah.
Chat.
What do you think? Put this thing together. Me.
Chat. What do you think the message would say if it was an audio message from Richard? What would he record on this onboarding postcard? Super postcard. We're calling it super postcard now. Super postcard. Pretty funny. I mean, it's got to be something cool though.
The thing that I'm going to be upset about is I probably am not going to get one. Right? Am I on the list? I would like to insert myself onto the mailing list so
we're not marketing to Americans, so
we are not on the list, man. We're not going to get one.
That sucks. I really want one.
He's sending it out eBay to the top wealthiest addresses in the U.S. And looking at the charts, we are not.
Were you trying to make a joke about Hexco? Look, you're never going to get one because there's nobody here that is in the top wealthiest people after the last 2 years. That was a joke. Thanks. Yeah. That'd be funny if only the PulseChain whales got it though.
We'll find out who the whales are in a second.
Yeah. Anyone who posts they got a postcard, they got bags.
Yeah.
I want to
swear half the community is like preppers living off the grid at this point. So Fast is like out there.
Yeah,
Everyone else is like unreachable, barely has plumbing. So,
no plumbing, no air conditioning,
whatever
no
it is, it has to be small enough that it can be mailed, right? And it has to be general appeal enough. Like it can't be super specific. Only like 1% of the population wants it. So I feel like it's probably going to be, some sort of, and we know it has a battery. Going to be some sort of tool that's cool, but also, that the average housewife might use.
Sorry, Hans has won the contest. He's won the. Hello, cell pressure. That's what I was going to say. Hello, cell pressure. PulseChain.com. There you go.
Hans.
All right, go ahead fast. It's a vape. I'm pretty sure it's not a vape.
That'd be funny.
Pretty sure. Sorry, fast. Did I interrupt you? You were.
But like it could be a clock, right? Or like a calculator of some type, perhaps a crypto calculator.
That could be interesting.
Something like that. They will use that battery. That would be interesting enough that people want to keep it. Maybe something you use in the kitchen. Maybe or it could be the hardware wallet thing we're talking about. You never know.
Actually, that's what I was thinking that yesterday. I was like, I bet it's something. If it isn't like just a okay, whatever it is, I think it is something that people want to hang on to. They'll want to put it somewhere where they see it all the time. It will be something like to get a reminder, right? Like you want them to see it all the time. Hell, I have a ball PulseChain, have a ball Hex, yeah. And it could be a calculator. Everything could be 10,000x. Whatever you type in, it times it by 10,000x.
It could be like one of those bobbly heads you put on your dashboard. It reminds you.
Nice.
Yeah, when you bob the head, it says hello, cell pressure. Hello. That would be fun.
But this would just be part of a marketing plan, right? Like it wouldn't be the entire marketing plan to send out a promotional item that has a battery. It'd be like you send this out, like millions of people get it, and then that's just the first thing. They're like, oh, PulseChain, and then they see something else, then they see something else. Like traditional marketing wants you to see something and interact with it up to 7 times before you're likely to make a purchase, right? So this, I suspect this is step 1, postcards 2.0, and then we'll move on to like the next thing and the next thing in, never before seen marketing, I believe was the quote. So,
yes.
I know the nonprofits are set up here in the States. Those are done.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't know why. There's some heavy hitter hexagons in Australia and the UK. I don't know why those wouldn't be done yet.
Can you elaborate on the importance of these institutions? Why they need to be set up?
I believe the marketing plan is set up to interact with local nonprofits. So all of the exchange of goods and services going in and out are going to community support, and therefore would not create any taxable events, right, for people in the future. Yeah,
or maybe even a tax write-off, right? Like you donated to a charity 100%. That's about open source blockchain code or things of that nature, right? And then that could all tie into the call center that was also talked about recently.
Can you sue? Yeah, no, there's a few different pieces in this. I want to get back to that, but real quick though, I bet there's some protections that charities and other nonprofit and all that stuff have. Maybe there's something around that. Maybe there's like, can you sue a charity? Can you, I don't know. Maybe that's like just the way to go to make sure you have the maximum, like, you can't.
Anybody can be sued, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, nuclear herbs could speak on this even better, right? As long as you're not commingling your funds and they're able to pierce a corporate veil or a charity veil in this case, right? Any kind of lawsuits that would come in would be would die in that entity, right? So it wouldn't be attached to your personal finance.
Yeah, so they're not immune to legal action for various reasons. Often protections against type of lawsuits. Often have protections against type of lawsuits. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of like different limited liability stuff and all that too.
Yeah.
But I think that's why. I think setting it up that way just gives more protections than starting a company or doing it as an individual, all that stuff. Did anyone go in the Simplex room or the Telegram? Did anyone been in there and seen it?
It got filled up before I could click that link.
Yeah, the Simplex one. Then there's also Telegram filter.
I haven't gone in there yet.
Okay. Anyone in the chat, let us know if you've been in there and what's going on, like what's interesting. But the call center. So yeah, so the list of things that could be phases or could kick off the process and all this stuff. He's talked about call center. He's talked about this mailing out electronic devices deal, and he really is pushing the community. Again, here it's like facilitating. He's like, he doesn't have to be doing it. He's like pushing everyone trying to like, here, go do this stuff. Here's things you can do. I don't know. I think he knows a lot of people in the community are doing this stuff already, and he's trying to get us to think about it more so we can support them. Is that what you all think he's doing?
Yeah, that's what I do think he's doing. 100%.
So I don't think he's doing much, if anything. I think he's just kind of being like, hey, this is a good idea. I want to support it. I want to tweet about it. I want to tell more people about it. I want to make sure the community, funneling them to go help you all do this stuff. I don't think Richard's doing this.
I think the responsibility that he's taken upon himself is the call center thing, right? As well as buying 5 containers worth of trinkets, right? And then the rest. So even though if I had a charity set up and you sent me a container's worth of trinkets, he's going to have to send some type of funds to that charity, right? To facilitate the mailing. So that's what I think is also those charities are set up for.
Yeah, that seems likely.
Yeah, because I would be hard pressed to mail out a freaking container's worth of stuff even in the United States, right? That would be expensive.
There's marketing companies that specialize in this kind of stuff, and if he picks the right kind of item, it could cost no more or very similar to sending a letter as far as the shipping cost. So
yeah, you can get bulk mail rates in the United States, and it is inexpensive, right? But still, a container's worth of bulk mail is
it's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, it'll be pricey.
And like a lot of handling, but he did talk about companies in that tweet, right? Like marketing companies or something like that. So it could be he's looking for a contract to contract a company that does this sort of thing to handle it.
It's definitely really interesting.
Without knowing what it is, once it starts to hit, I believe we will all know.
Oh yeah.
What do you see happening to the price? Or let's just say Pulse.
I don't think will be enough by itself, right? Like it'll have to be part of a bigger plan. Can't just be you send a bunch of rich guys who live in Beverly Hills, like a calculator or something like that, and that they run out and buy Pulse. But it has to be like they get that, and then they keep it, and then they see advertisements somewhere else, and then then they get an opportunity to get some sort of airdrop. Like there's ways they'll have to interact, but it won't be one thing. So I think this thing by itself would probably not have a minimal impact on the price, but the combination of that with other high-level marketing activities done by professionals could be pretty fantastic.
So when I used to be in the professional world, right, and I wanted to get a hold of a client, I would do a whole bunch of phone calls, find a fax machine closest to the person. I would get their direct mailing address, and I would FedEx them something, and their email. And I would have all 4 of those things hit the exact same day. So he would have to ignore me 4 times before I was discarded completely, right? And that usually doesn't happen. With this, have you guys ever seen Richard Hart, or anybody in the community for that matter, do a coordinated attack on a market sector? So
so market sectors are very they're differently distributed now into isolated social networks. So for example, back then everyone had to accept the same waves of communication, but now you have separate communities on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and phone calls are obviously still relevant today as they always will be, but you can't do large scale marketing like you used to do back in the day, probably when we were kids. It just doesn't exist anymore. And advertising companies have figured that out very quickly in the last few years. And that's why they're going directly to influencers, and people are content creators that, maybe only had 50,000 subscribers are becoming extraordinarily wealthy because they're realizing that that is the best way to market. So you have to go through, all these kind of smaller groups, and accept that you can't do unless you're buying like a Super Bowl ad or something like that, right? That's like another level. But even that doesn't necessarily work like it used to work before, right? Because everyone's being, that's why they're calling them influencers, right? So if you have a big following, you're an influencer. So, whether it's, you have YouTubers that talk about crypto, they're, influencers in the sense that they're more likely to be trusted than an ad by, some random token that just makes their own ads. That's why the token companies too just go right to the influencers to talk about, their new projects and what have you. Unless you're maybe Coinbase, like I said, that's maybe at that Super Bowl level, where they're kind of have a brand awareness, right? But in some ways they're also used by the government. So they have massive support, from banks and government and politicians, what have you. But it's very different than it was before. It's very split off. And so if you send postcards, there's definitely a group that's going to get them, receive them. And obviously if they're interesting, they'll make an impression, but those same people may not be TikTok users, or they may not be YouTube users, or they may not be Instagram users. So it's not that they, get mail and then those same people also use TikTok and then they also use YouTube. So you can blast, you know what I'm saying?
But I think the mail and the promotional items like that ties into the same kind of audience, right? And going back to the call center, right? Like who uses call centers? Who uses help desks? Well, it's boomers, right? And in crypto, I know boomers is anybody over 40. Me and TripletDad are boomers, but
they got
in the real
money.
world, boomers are 65, right? And they, what if the promotional thing, how to use people would keep it and then advertise the call center, and then like I could see those kind of people like, my dad, right? He's a little old for this stuff, but like, he could do it. He's smart enough if he was walked through by a help center, which usually in crypto is terrible, but sounded like Richard was looking for a solution for that. So it could all tie in. Postcards. Who reads postcards? Old people. Who has money? Old people. Who wants promotional, cryptic calculators and stuff? Old people. Like it could be all targeting where the real money is at. And the truth is the real money is still with people who are mostly, over 50.
Yep. That is
they got kids. They got kids and grandkids and stuff too. So it could float down there. Like, hey, what's this crypto thing? I thought about investing, and they look at it. Oh, cool. I can help you with that. And never know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like that, you get one guy who can roll in $10 million. It's a lot, way better than getting a bunch of 22-year-olds who can roll in $200, right? Like,
fair enough. Really I mean, look, they're both viable markets that you have to get to, without a doubt. But they're absolutely separate. Like the marketing you would do to get the boomers is going to be completely different from what you would be to get to the 20-year-olds with $200. It's just
because the truth is on that exact point, right? He's Fast Abdoul's right, that it's probably going after 40 plus, right?
So at least
the cards, yeah,
because the truth is 5 containers worth of crap plus the amount of money it takes to mail that stuff would reach way more than 1 million eyes if you spent that on TikTok.
Which eyes though, right? So
yeah, exactly. Which eyes? They're not going to be 40 plus eyes, more than likely.
Yeah.
And my wife will see it 100%. But because I freaking hate TikTok.
But the boomers all know about crypto now, though, right? Like they mostly just know Bitcoin.
They know about it.
But 10 years ago, like, my mother wouldn't have known what Bitcoin was, right? 5 years ago, maybe she would have been peripherally aware that's a thing. I'm sure she would have thought it was a scam. And now I have now I have those age of people, like people who are 65 plus, 70 plus, asking me because they know I have some vague connection. Like, what's this crypto thing? How do I get into it? Right. And it's, they need, if they were to get in, they need serious help. Right. But like, if they wanted to roll their bags into crypto, like we're talking pretty big numbers compared to the average crypto user.
It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of people competing for that group for sure, because I think when we go into this next phase, the banks are going to be ready. There's going to be a lot of institutional money ready to also start advertising and marketing to bring people into whatever they have ready to roll out as well. So it's going to be an interesting fight, for that market.
I want to talk about two things that, so, if the community is getting ideals and taking action and doing all this stuff, maybe who knows if Richard or the community is doing the call center, or it sounds like the community is doing the mailers and all that stuff too. But he has mentioned, again, pretty consistently, something about a wallet. And I want to get your all's take on this too, because this was back in April. If you're going to fork a wallet, what would you fork and why? Make a wallet, of course, we got Internet Money as a popular wallet in the community as well. But I've talked about a super app. I've talked about like one of the ideas, I think, not that one. Actually, I didn't put it in there yet. One of the ideas that I thought was interesting is if there was, instead of just a wallet, like it, of course, foundationally it could be a wallet, but something that could literally connect. PulseX could be a centralized exchange, could be there could be some hex functionality in there, staking. Maybe you earn ink or something from using it, or that'd be inflation. But anyways, like different ideas and stuff like that. But it's all integrated, vertical integration, like we talked about a lot before. All those pieces too. What do y'all think that the next Richard Hart product, will it be a type of super app? Will it be an exchange? Like, what do you think that Richard is going to, instead of just a community, what do you think him and the PulseChain devs are going to launch this year or early next?
So it could certainly be upgrades. Go ahead, TripletDad.
Or is it just going to be PulseX upgrades?
I have talked about this with Rackham. I've talked about this with lots of people, right? Including my devs. Having an exchange. For one, I don't understand why Coinbase, Binance, Crypto.com, why none of those guys lean into DeFi, right? If I had a bunch of Wall Street money and I had a crypto exchange like Coinbase, I would also have a Coinbase exchange, a Coinbase DEX, and lean into DeFi and have a bunch of bots that were arbing the prices between my central exchange and my DEX. And you would take your eyeballs and move them up. It would be huge, right? It would be in multiples. I would do that. So I like your list, buddy. The super app, I would have an exchange tied to PulseX is what I would do, and have those two things work together. Because I would always want Richard Hart to lean into DeFi. Of course, we need exchanges to get our money back to buy a jet ski or what have you, right? But at the same time, I love the DeFi side of things. I think that's where this is all going. I don't know if in the future you're going to need a DEX or a SEX to get your money off and buy that jet ski. I would like to pay that off with tokens that are in my wallet and send it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And there are people doing that now, but if you had a centralized exchange tied into a DEX, I think you could do huge moves.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's talked about centralized exchange so many times where I know everyone's like, oh, but we want DeFi, like only DeFi. I'm like, okay, but there are some advantages for having people who will never come to DeFi or are totally not ready and cannot be onboarded through DeFi to use centralized exchanges first and come in and have that integration, and
100%.
maybe it could be great.
There's a lot of people close, right? Like Cash App leaning into crypto a bit, right? That's getting very, very close, right? The Coast guys are have pieces of it. There's a lot of people and teams that are playing around the periphery of what you have described in this list, as well as what I just described. And I think that if you were able to accomplish that, it would be multiples of change.
I've said forever, I think each piece, the marketing, the products, like whatever it is, it'll be incremental and it'll come at the right time. It'll be at a time where, if the market looks like it's going in the right direction, if retail's coming in, if it's just for, whatever other setup, or Richard's able to speak more freely or whatever type stuff, it'll be incremental and it'll be at the right time. It may not be at the time you expect or want, but it'll be at the right time, incremental to the moon this way. There we go. That's what I think.
Incremental is kind of what I was talking about when you were bringing up the marketing. I've seen all the positive moves that are made by Richard at Hart, and I don't want to say that they're negative, right? They're all positive moves, but I've seen them hit incrementally. Whereas if you are going to affect mass change, some of those things need to start to be timed so they all hit at once, and there's no ignoring it anymore, right?
PulseChain will not be one day, people stop selling it so hard because they'll actually value it. I think that's the thing people don't value today. Very few people value their coins, and it's like when the price is down like that, it is hard to value it. But it's I don't think it'll be like that forever.
Yeah, not to bring up other coins on this show, but Sonic just freaking got listed on Coinbase and it's still 30 cents, I think.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, every time I see something get launched on, or every time I imagine Hexkins, PulseChain sees something get launched on Coinbase or get added to Coinbase, it's like, come on, what do we got to do? Come on, and then, well, I guess have more volume, have more price go up, have more action. Which again, it's kind of leading into that. Like, what do exchanges want to see? What do they need, other than listing fees and all that stuff too? We have the community, we have the social media numbers and stuff, and imagine what that's going to grow to, once we start adding a ton more people in and more builders and stuff too. But I don't know, maybe they just want to see momentum, or maybe no one's, again, hey, Richard's just never going to pay a listing fee, so if the community gets rich enough or has funds to do it.
I think one thing these exchanges look for that kind of ties into previous conversations here is like a presence on Ethereum, right? Like, you could take a lot of coins that are on other chains that get listed, and they'll have relatively large pools bridged over to Ethereum. So that could tie into the whole thing with, maybe we'll see PulseX on Ethereum, which would be easy enough to do, a weekend project for Braytep. And then that could result in a ton of Pulse and PulseX bridged over to Ethereum. And it would be, it would draw some eyeballs, right? And then it'd be hard for those big exchanges to not at least recognize, like, oh, there's, $40 million on Ethereum with this Pulse thing, with this PulseX thing. And then, if there were farming options on Ethereum, people could come over, like all kinds of ways that we could tie this together.
Right now, about $1 million, $1.5 million over on Ethereum from PulseX and PulseX. That's PulseChain coins bridged over there.
But it really wouldn't be that big a deal, like, as far as difficulty to launch PulseX on Ethereum, right? Like, they have the code. It's mostly the same. They could do it in a weekend.
Been seeing some more fun sites pop up too. Shout out to Hexjita, PulseCharts.com. Added this. I haven't seen this lately. The get started by USDC, DAI, or ETH on ZK P2P. It's one of the fiat RMs, I guess. bridge from PulseChain with Liberty Swap. Richard's talked about Liberty Swap before as well. Track your portfolio. It's got a portfolio tracker here as well. Also got a lot of different stats and bridge stuff too. I'm curious to.
You're all knowing, Mr. Max, as well as fast, right? Do you know who's behind Liberty Swap?
I don't know who's behind it. I hope they come on the show one day.
I would love to talk to the guys at Liberty Swap because they came from out of the blue, and then Richard Hart was talking about them, and that is not the normal path things take. Right, they have to hang out for a couple of years, make their bones, right, and then your internet money, and you're on the main website.
What an astute point. Yes, I think there's a couple examples of that. Pump.tires came out of nowhere, right? Richard started tweeting about him. Now you could, some people say, oh, that because he made it, right? Because it's his, or maybe Liberty Swap, or speculate on that too. I think he just knows. I think he knows people in the community, or he becomes aware of people producing products, and if he hears about them first, or likes them, or otherwise, or supports them, then he talks about them. And I think that's how they come out of nowhere like that. I think he just, behind the scenes, people were building. Again, I'll just speculate. I'm guessing they were building something he liked, and then he saw the value in it, and now they're listed on like PulseChain.com and stuff. I think that's where some of that comes from. That's my idea.
Liberty could be the next thing that is sacrificed for, right? So I think that Liberty, I think that Liberty is a term that would be bantered about by Mr. Hart. So maybe he is affiliated with it. I don't know.
Oh, there's two different ways to take that. The way I took it is they were going to have a sacrifice phase after becoming popular, which some platforms and some people do too.
I'm not a big fan of the sacrifices right now. I don't think.
Teach their own, but it's not super popular, I imagine.
Yeah.
But no, you're talking about how Richard may have an affinity. You're sacrificing for freedom of liberty.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think we're going to see any more sacrifices from Richard. I don't think. I think it was an era that had its for a purpose, and now it's.
Yeah, and especially once you're completely clear with the SEC for the time being, right? To have another sacrifice that does the same exact thing, I think I would just stay away from that.
Probably not worth it. But in the community, there's plenty of sacrifice, and I hope everyone that does sacrifices hope they get a good deal. It's just hard. It's hard in general for all the ones that happened before to do well too, regardless. Some of them, different tokenomics, all this stuff too, aside, just the macro conditions and the conditions on PulseChain aren't up only. And the sentiment isn't at its highest. So it's just hard for anything to, pump for based on utility or fundamentals either. Yeah, I was trying to find Liberty Swap on here. Yeah, literally on PulseChain.com. Liberty Swap.
Yeah.
Gibbs Finance as well. All welcome to come on the show and tell us about your stuff, because if you're on PulseChain.com,
I feel like getting on PulseChain.com, like you really need to, know somebody to do that. Richard feels like he has some sort of hand in this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he knows people building stuff one way or not. However, he knows about it, whether he's talking to them directly or just sees it or whatever. They build stuff. He likes stuff. And then once he thinks it's a good thing, he talks about it or puts.
What is underneath that hot link, buddy, that says other options? What are the people that didn't get put up on there?
So it would be DeepBridge, Llama Swap, Allbridge, so cross-chain swaps, and a Tron to Ethereum bridge.
So DeepBridge, I didn't know even had PulseChain yet, because I was talking with Taco, who's a big ETH/Solana guy, the other night, and he recommended DeepBridge to me, and I didn't think that it had Pulse on it yet.
What's it say? Tron to Ethereum. I don't think. Let's see. Maybe I think it's literally saying Tron to Ethereum? Like, is it just to take Tron to Ethereum?
I don't know. I don't know why they would have D-Bridge on there yet. But I looked at it the other day, and I know everything that it takes to get PulseChain live on D-Bridge, and it's a pricey endeavor.
I don't think the link would be there for no reason. So is it live on there already?
So D-Bridge.
When you click on that link that says other options, it was there.
Maybe these are just. I think these are just not particularly PulseChain related. Yeah. So coming from other chains in Ethereum, first bridge to swap to ETH using one of the cross-chain swaps below, then bridge to PulseChain.
Oh, there
these are not PulseChain related. They're just, hey, if you got coins that you need to get on Ethereum to get to PulseChain, you can use these.
There we go.
So for under $100,000 ish, PulseChain could be directly on D-Bridge.
Hear that, community?
I do. Taco is one of the guys that works with them. Taco Player One.
I think once we get some green candles, people start feeling and becoming richer, then I think that kind of, again, green candles beget green candles. Green candles also beget, hey, let's. I think I want to invest in more marketing, more utility for PulseChain across different places. So that could be centralized exchange listings, that could be bridges, that could be getting listed on whatever else stuff to get more popularity. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. Bulls, anything in the chat? You guys see anything in the chat worth prompting, bringing up as well? A lot of questions. I'm scrolling, but sorry, chat, can't get to everything today. You guys are popping off, though.
Yeah, they are.
Chad, I like the one that Rocket Mob put up here.
Is it recent or where is that?
It's right at the bottom. Oh, sorry. No, I was behind. It's a little bit above the bottom, half page up.
Rocket
Mob.
I need AI to find these things for me. Gotta use my eyes. Rocket Mob. Okay, here we go. A new RH centralized exchange launched with existing accounts already set up. People claim the account via electronic material. Ooh, that's interesting. Coming from the game. Okay, so the idea would be you get a postcard. It's got credentials or a invitation to create an account on RH's exchange they launched.
Yep.
Somewhere in there. That could be interesting.
It's like boomers who get postcards are capable of filling out forms. It's one thing they're good at, and they'd be less good at the tech, but getting onto a centralized exchange, they could do that to claim their $5 in Pulse or whatever it was, and then there'd be bridging options.
I think I think postcards would be targeting non-DeFi people too. So like if there was a centralized angle to this, I don't think you're going to send postcards and be like, all right, here's how you install MetaMask. You could, that could happen. That could be the plan. But also I could totally be like, you know what? We're not even going to do that right now. We're just going to do, hey, there's an account set up here, or here's how to do it. Here's the easiest, fastest way to do it without, you don't have to install anything. You don't have to be a nerd. You don't have to do all this stuff that we know how to do already a million times. But the average person getting a postcard, probably, they know how to click buttons. They use email. They don't know how to use, MetaMask yet. I like it. Yeah. What else? What else, bulls? What else, bears? What we got? We got diversity of opinions. We got all bulls here. You guys just all full bull? Bulls?
Yeah, Relaxed Finance says it sounds like a bunch of hopium. I don't know about that, Mr. Finance. It's not a bunch of hopium. We all do have big bags in this, or decent sized bags, right? So of course we would like our stuff to go up.
Well, look,
we are just speculating on most recent posts, and I know for a fact that there is some activity going on in the background. So that's not hope; that's fact. And I do think that those will have some effect on users and price. I don't know what that will be, but we shall see.
Well, we can look at facts. Absolutely, without a doubt. If you look at the Dow Jones Transportation Index, it looks extraordinarily bullish. And it's something I've talked a lot about on the live streams. And we are looking absolutely amazing right now.
Get anything to share? You want to put anything up there?
Yeah, I mean,
up to you. Up to you. Just prompting if you need it.
Yeah, we could look at it. I don't know if you want to get into charts or that much or anything, but I'm happy to throw it up if you guys really want to see it.
Go for it. We can talk TA for a minute if you want to. Whatever you want to.
Show us some TA.
Yeah. You know, SaintWolf, when you come up on a screen, somebody's going to ask you to put a chart up. 100%.
I just thought people would rather see something on my screen all the time. So I'm always like, yeah, anyone want to throw something up there, throw it up.
Window. Huh.
Let's see. Who else we got in chat?
See if it's working. What do I do? Click this. Oh, you got to do it? Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
So, I mean, you can see over here, this is the DJT, okay? Transportation Index. You guys understand what that represents, right? That's all freight. This is the foundation of your economy right here. And it looks enormously bullish, okay? This looks like it's about to break to the upside. I have these, we never broke below any of these supports. We're at resistance right now. We're looking really good. We're looking really good for a move to come down, do a retest maybe this summer. We just get a little bit of a lull and we pop out of here pretty strong, which is really good. Another one I like to look at really quick is gold silver ratio. Now, this one's important because usually if things look bad, people will dump silver for gold, not directly necessarily, but the ratio is important because silver is used in manufacturing. So if there was genuinely a slowdown in the economy coming or people were foreseeing a recession, you would see this because manufacturing would be slowing down, not just for freight, but for building everything, right? And you can see that this was going off up here. We were bullish. We were making this nice bull flag here through April, May, June, and then gold silver ratios just plummeted. So if this was moving up, that would be bad. That means people are going for gold and they're dumping silver in general, right? Which is not good. But you don't see that right now. You don't see that at all. As a matter of fact, it's coming down. And then the DJT, which of course we just looked at, is moving up as well, because obviously this would also represent a slowdown, the underlying foundation of the economy, which we don't see. This is getting very bullish really quick. Now, yeah, this is all really good stuff. This is really good.
So you don't look at 15-minute charts, huh?
15-minute chart. I'm looking at
with PulseChain. I'm always on 15 or lower sometimes, but it depends on
never.
what I'm doing.
No. For PulseChain, yeah, no, definitely not. Especially not for these things. Look at the bigger.
I figured. I'm just joking with you.
1 minute chart.
1 minute chart. Let's do it.
We can go here to the daily on Ethereum. I drew this 6 weeks ago, and I mean, it just hit exactly right there. Now we've come back up. I was expecting this sideways, and then I think at the end of July, I have this starting to pop back up again. Let's see what happens. I don't know, but it looks like we've just come down and filled a little bit. We could come back and hit it again, but I don't see any big issues. Also, another thing, I was looking at the housing market just this week, and I think the figures are 1 out of every 3 homes in the US are selling for at asking or more. So even though there may be some areas where there's some sales, whatever, in general, it's quite strong. You got about 30% selling at asking or more. That's a pretty strong figure. So there's definitely some really, really strong signs in the economy, and we could just range through the summer, and this fall could be incredible. I did say in my live, I think, 6 weeks ago when I was drawing some of these out, I said I think altcoin season could start in 4 to 8 months or something like that. So that would be timed right about September-ish. And it seems to time with some of the things that Richard Hart's also been saying too, a couple months out, putting us into August, going into September there. But, short of something happening, everything looks like it's preparing to move us higher, even if we range or slide a little bit in the short term, let's say going into July. But
is this year the year we doing 2025 up?
Could be, man. Could be this last quarter. Could be very strong. Could be very strong. I mean, right now this is looking like a double top. We could just pull back some. I think we could slide a little bit into July, but maybe we get a lot of strength going into Q4, or at least the last half of Q3 into Q4. But looking at the basic underlying things of this economy, we're looking really good.
I don't know how it will affect the housing market if this takes place, but they said a couple of days ago that they were looking at allowing crypto to be used as proof of reserves for buying a house. That would be badass.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a big announcement for Bitcoin regarding that, and also the thing that they're talking about. Now, how that's going to affect Ethereum and altcoins, it's tough to say. Maybe Bitcoin still steals the show for a little while longer. I wasn't expecting altcoin season to start now anyway. So my prediction was, coming into the fall. But then again, Richard Hart, if he's anticipating that, he could start sooner, But
I think
Bitcoin could steal the show for a little while longer, for sure.
My thinking on that was kind of in line with, if we are going to get a bull run this fall, it being the marketing and stuff. If Richard thinks that's going to happen, for example, and then and the community is putting all these stuff, and maybe he's planning some product launch and stuff too. Who knows? Like all that again being like planned up to, okay, here's what 2 more months, marketing, boom, products, boom, oh, macros are good, boom, 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 like that kind of thing going up. So it could fall in line with that. I hope so. Yeah,
100%. But in terms of fear from underlying things in the economy and manufacturing, we just don't see it in the charts. You would see issues in the DJT, you'd see issues in the gold-silver ratio, because, manufacturing, they're looking out many months in advance. So based on those charts, they're not seeing an immediate recession or any big issues. So I'm bullish, but what matters for us is, what pushes up the price of crypto in general, and what we need to be concerned about is the ease of money, how easy it is. And right now it's not, right? So it would be the cutting of the rates that would be the signal for these kind of risk assets to move. It really isn't connected to much else besides that, to be totally honest. So money's got to become easy. And I think that's why everyone's waiting for these rate cuts, right? Everybody knows that, right? That's when we get really risky and crazy.
Huh.
Do you guys, Ironclad has a comment in there that there's going to, ETH's 10-year anniversary is July 30th. You think anything will happen for that?
What anniversary?
ETH's 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the start, right? Because that would still time us well. We could lull through July, but I think things could start reversing.
Did anything happen for BTC 10-year anniversary? Was there any
2018? Not a good year that I remember.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. It really depends on the
market.
Vitalik's got to pick up his game a bit. We need some more leadership from the Ethereum community. But certainly, there's been more and more funds flowing into those Ethereum ETFs. I think BlackRock bought a bunch not that long ago, and that's going to be huge. That's going to be when the boomers come in. That's the most likely place for them to touch down is in those ETFs.
Come on, you 10,000 IQ alien. Let's get it going. Indeed. Dance some more. Yeah. High five, Richard. Go do a podcast with Richard. God.
Yeah, things could reverse. Things could reverse. I mean, at least for the crypto market, pretty quickly. Maybe July 30th. Maybe there is something. Maybe we begin that last week of July. Maybe things start moving up pretty quickly. Kind of front running the expectation of September, right?
Yeah, that's also coincides with what you were saying. August is the marketing thing. August might be the beginning of the move for fall, right?
Yep.
So that could be a thing.
PulseChain could could absolutely kind of think, I almost think of it as it'll be a lockout move, which is what, I've anticipated all, going back forever. I anticipated that we were going to make a W here at the very end, which we're forming right now. Now, this chart is from January 6th. I didn't know the exact timing or the size of this W, but I knew we would touch down, come up. We came up much higher than this, and that we would touch down again. And we are forming that W right now, exactly as I drew. Actually, I drew that chart in November, but this is from January 6th. But you can see this W I drew. And then from here, I anticipate a large lockout move, and that could happen possibly at the end of July. So not that it'll be at SAC price, but you won't ever see those kind of low prices again. It'll happen quite quickly if the start is, let's say, July or August. And then when September comes and a lot of marketing ramps up for crypto, will already be repriced higher. Maybe we'll be somewhere up around here, and you can see we're making this W right now. This is exactly what I drew way back. And so, you can anticipate wherever this lands, whether it's here or it comes a little lower, it'll, this move will be very quick and violent. And maybe there is something there with ETH. Maybe ETH moves as well, and we make a big lockout move right there, which is what I anticipate happening. And then we'll go into the fall there. So that could be something that
right in front of that chart was the other lockout move, right?
Say that.
So there was a lockout move that was done by community, Richard Hart, whoever, right? Those big green candles there. We've experienced that lockout move before, where we were hovering in this range right now, in the 3s, 4s, right? And then boom, it started going up, and you weren't able to get your bags back.
Right. And that's what I expect to happen pretty soon. That's what I've been anticipating. Yeah, you can see this one's from January 6th. I drew this live. So, and then this isn't obviously, I'm just kind of showing that we're going to be only going up from there, but it's not going to continuously just
right
only go up. But I think this area is what'll matter for us, because by the time you get to August or September and their marketing will have moved quite far away from whatever that low is that we're forming right now.
It's almost like we have a summer of marketing. People know about PulseChain. They know how to buy it. And then if they FOMO in the retail cycle, they'll buy a lot of it. I'd like to see that.
I would love to see that. That might be one of my favorite things ever to happen on planet Earth, if that happened.
It's probably in the top 5, top 10 of most people. I mean, it almost makes too much sense too. Like, why would it happen?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the chart looks really healthy. I mean, it's doing, if you just want to talk about Pulse, why I'm very bullish is because it's following exactly what I drew. Now, I didn't know the exact timeline. I didn't know there was going to be a thing where he couldn't talk for a certain amount of time, whatever it was. But based on the way this looked, this was the logical direction that this had to go. We had to form this, come down, make a little W down here. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're coming down. We got this beautiful W forming, which is extraordinarily bullish. And everything's played out, I mean, exactly as I was envisioning. So logically, I'm thinking there's going to be a juicy lockout move that's going to happen here already.
Nice.
Yeah.
I could use some balance to the upside.
I did anticipate the second low to be slightly lower than the first. So we'll see if that happens. We're already coming down. We're almost to this low. That would obviously take us, a little bit lower. That's generally how these moves work. And then wham. But it doesn't have to do that. But that's what I was anticipating back at the beginning of the year. And I still think that I don't know. We'll see. But if you're not bullish, I mean, you have to be bullish. Even if you're just looking at it from where we are now, I mean, you've got a falling wedge here. I mean, even if you just, break this down like that, I mean, that's incredible. That's amazing right there.
It's going to zero, bro. It's going to zero. Ask me how I know, because it's going to zero. Bitcoin's going to zero. I always reminds that guy. Every time I hear zero, I think of the guy. Bitcoin's going to zero. It's going to zero. He's the guy on stage.
if you look at it like this, it's extraordinarily bullish. And I even drew this all the way back in November that I thought that, I know we were saying that it was a straight support, but I said that I had a feeling this is going to turn into a falling wedge, this whole giant piece. And that's why I was drawing this, because that's what it pretty much was showing. And that's what seems to be happening. And this is extraordinarily bullish formation right now. So when this pops out of here, yeah, I mean, you better have your bags packed, because it is going to lock you out. It's going to move very violently out of there.
Let's do it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of great things to look forward to. I mean, this is looking really good. Looking really good.
I want to pivot back over to, there is a post I found about, I'll drop in the chat as well, about the inside of the Simplex. Okay, so shout out to SJ, by the way. Here's a summary of what happened in Simplex, just on the logistics and the shipping container thing. Things needed: logistics company in the United States, FTZ, free trade zone, received a couple 40-foot containers to receive a couple 40-foot containers of electronic devices. They say right now just in the FTS. Okay, and then privilege charity, so no import tax, guessing. So maybe it could be something to do with protections, could be something to do with tax, all that stuff. Include the free electronic device as part of the mission to promote blockchain tech. Basically, containers full of things will exist soon, and they need to go somewhere and be shipped. And if what does the shipping as a charity, it's the mission for them, it's likely there'll be no import tax, discount shipping. Not an expert, but these things are well documented. AI is smart enough to link you to the documents, even read them for you. The hardest part of devices is handled. Having places for the device to be donated to and shipped from is where it's at now. Shipping from China, 40-foot general purpose container, no pallets, each device in a bubble mailer. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's not hopium. That's fact. Those things are coming here.
Stuff is happening. That's a good point.
100%. So that would probably be best place would be West Coast, right? If it's coming from China. So that you have two options there. You have you have Long Beach, or you have Oakland. So where that would probably land.
Probably the Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach is probably where it's at. We do have some pretty influential hex people down there. Yeah,
could be, but the port is just a port. Like, it is going to land in. It won't really matter where in the U.S. it lands as far as the cost to mail. Because, like, how much does it cost to mail a letter from New York to California versus California to Texas? Like, I imagine it's probably the same or same-ish.
Yeah, but the free trade zones, because of the new because of the Port of Long Beach, right? There's a lot of free trade zones around there.
What do stamps cost these days? Like $1? Like, they just been going up forever.
It wouldn't be that though.
Oh yeah, it would be. Well, there would be. Yeah,
it would have a bulk mail rate, right? They would weigh it by the pound.
That's right. I wonder if they get a special deal on that if they're doing that many of them too. Could be.
Yeah, I've been doing some research here, guys. I have some theories on what could be in the container.
Tell us your secrets.
Well, item number one, maybe this is a long shot, but it fits the bill for the size, possibly for the battery type, would be an electronic tracker. They come in like cards, like fairly flat. And it's like you'd have, you might have two of them, and it's something you could track on your phone. You hide this in your car, you hide it wherever, and you can, go into the app and find that device. That's maybe that's a long shot, but it fits. The next thing that seems to be fairly popular for promotional items that I think people would innately, because you want to receive something and be like, this is of value, I won't throw it away. I'm going to give it to somebody else, or I'm going to keep it for myself, but I won't throw it away. So it can't feel like this isn't worth money. Could be either Bluetooth speakers, or it could be Bluetooth headphones, right? Kind of like iPods, probably not quite as fancy, but that it could be, something along those lines where you're listening either with a speaker or with headphones. Those are starting to be used in promotional markets. And then the other thing, if we want to get into computer stuff, it could be like a cordless mouse, which would also probably fit the bill for the battery and that kind of thing. Remember, these batteries could be rechargeable, right? So it could be prepackaged with a rechargeable battery. So the battery life might not be the limiting factor
I'm not sure if the button batteries are rechargeable. I mean, maybe some of them are, but I feel like it would be more.
But
again, the battery,
like you can get CR 2505 batteries that are rechargeable. That's the thing.
It would be quite a bit more, but it's possible.
Yeah,
I don't even drink, right? And I have this flask, this PulseChain flask that I got, PulseChain Tour. I'm not giving it away. Maybe I would if I had a fellow Hexakin Pulsekin that drank, and I would maybe give this to them. But for now,
but what if it had a logo of something that you've never seen before that you didn't have any affinity for? You might be like, let me give that away. Like, you're not going to give it away because you like PulseChain, but somebody who sees that, who doesn't know about PulseChain, they'd be like, oh, what's this crypto thing? It's a crypto thing.
It's all about perceived value, right?
Yeah.
So people would perceive this as valuable. And when you think of the target audience, like we're back to the postcard crew, and they receive a wireless Bluetooth speaker. Well, to them, that could be worth $700, right? You could probably send them a VCR too, and they wouldn't throw that away, but it's hard to ship. So Bluetooth speaker, Bluetooth headphones, they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to use this myself. I'm going to give it to my grandchildren. Like something where there's like, this could be worth hundreds, should be the perceived effect of this thing.
I like this too. An access code USB for a live stream.
I think that people within the crypto community, or even on the fringe of tech, are very, very leery about putting USB devices into their machine that they don't know their origin. So I don't think it's going to be a USB. I've thought about that, but I just don't think. If I get a USB in the mail, I will put it in my microwave and turn it on, and then hit it with a hammer, and then put it in the trash.
Sound like a security guy.
I think it's going to be something simple, but something enough to keep your attention, to get your attention.
A hologram of him twerking.
The other thing is,
I keep that. You don't throw that away. Nobody throws a hologram of a guy twerking away.
No, I would keep that forever. I'd keep it right next to this. The other thing
interesting
you need to think about is not have. So if you had like a bunch of preloaded wallets or something like that, you don't want that money to just stay out there forever, right? So I like the QR code that can, like, one-time use QR codes where you could scan the QR code and then you have $10 worth of Pulse show up in your wallet, right? I think that could be a thing, but doing airdrops, we've all seen that, right? We've seen a whole bunch of tokens that never move again, ever.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of just trusting he has something on his mind that's going to work, that he wants to do. I think just going right through, TikTok or Instagram is probably the best marketing. I mean, it's the most incredible marketing tools we have today, X and TikTok and Instagram and what have you, for the money, for the amount of money spent, right? But he has some plan in mind, so whatever it is, I hope it works for the best. But
final guess. It's an audio or maybe video mix type of deal, and it says, "Hello, buy pressure. Please come to PulseChain, buy pressure. Hello, buy pressure."
It could be some kind of audio, yeah.
Like the Bluetooth speaker with pre-recorded message, right?
Could be.
Like that.
Nobody's throwing away a Bluetooth speaker. I agree. Nobody's going to throw away a Bluetooth speaker. But but the battery part, that's what's throwing it off. It's like, that's a very certain set of things that could take that CR 2025 battery, even if it's rechargeable or not. So, anyways, gents, gotta wrap up here. This is a tweet I made today. Strength of the PulseChain community is you do the work. Richard may help facilitate, provide direction, lead, or do things we speculate but do not expect, but it's the community and the things we build that is PulseChain. That's my final thoughts of today. What do you all want to take us out on? What are you all feeling? Bullish, bearish, hopeful, not hopeful? What do you guys think?
I'm feeling bullish. I liked your other tweet too, that you're the blood of PulseChain. That one was also good.
Heartbeat of PulseChain. Yeah.
Heartbeat of PulseChain. Yeah.
Thank you.
That one was I like that.
Thank you. I try to be a poet from time to time, but not always good. No, not always good.
Fast Abdoul wrote Matty Allen a haiku the other day.
I did.
Yeah.
It may not be suitable for the screen, however. Maddie liked it. It was I said happy birthday to Maddie Allen with a custom haiku.
Nice.
I want to say that just to address, there's been a tremendous amount of FUD the last few weeks on X. All right. A lot of negativity and things like that. And one thing I want to say is that just from a game theory point of view, you got to think that it shouldn't matter whether Richard Hart is sincere or he's a scammer. Because no matter what, the way I look at it is there's probably a lot more money to be made with this price, the prices of these assets going much, much higher than anyone can believe than not. Because a lot of people I've read, there's just been people just saying, he's rugging or he's just doing all these crazy things. And okay, you can speculate all that stuff if you want. But the truth is, it's not about, trying to figure out what his character is and what he's trying to do. The fact is, no matter what, it's just going to be, he's going to make a lot more money with this becoming extraordinarily successful versus him just, I don't know the kind of theories people are putting out there that he's going to do. It doesn't make sense for this to not work or go anywhere. Like it's just not at all, not even remotely.
He is fully aligned for PulseChain success. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just an overall win and better for the prices to go up. It doesn't even make sense why you would even worry about what his intentions are. I mean, do you worry what BlackRock's intentions are with Bitcoin or with any of these people or this bank or that stock or whatever? No, you just know that they have a lot more to make by the price going up than down. And if you look at where this is and where we are in terms of that liquidity cycle, we're at a low point. Money's not easy right now. And when it does, these risk assets are going to moon. They're going to do hundreds of X's. And I absolutely believe PulseChain is going to do hundreds and hundreds of X's. And it could absolutely flip Solana. Like, I really believe that. So I don't have an interest to care, when I see the FUD this way, like, oh, is he a scammer? Is he scamming this and that? It's like, it doesn't matter. He's going to make way more money by these prices going up than not. So why wouldn't he? It's almost easier at this point for this to go up than to not do anything, if that makes sense. When I just even look at the chart, and that's what I was showing you with when I see these pennants and this, the falling wedge that I'm seeing, I'm telling you, it's looking extraordinary. It's going to pop and it's going to be insane. Like, this is an extraordinarily bullish chart now. And you can see that. It's just clear as day. So it shouldn't matter. People are investing so much emotional energy online to FUD it and try to figure out what type of scammer he is and all this stuff. And I'm like, why, dude? The chart is bullish as fuck. Because you don't know how to read charts doesn't mean you understand what's happening. Like, I can see clear as day in the charts. This is an incredible opportunity to be in. And that's so, I am bullish without a doubt.
Well, for that one, sir, you get the money gun.
Wow. Neat. Don't leave home without it.
Yeah.
Oh, love the money gun. Love the money
Nice.
gun.
We're going up. It's going up.
Well said.
When SaintWolf talks, I want to get out my ledger. Buy some more
Ooh.
stuff.
That's a very security, hashtag security right there. You notice he didn't say, let me get out my hot wallet that contains all the money I ever have in the world on a computer running Windows that may be the same computer I use for everything. And I only connect to public Wi-Fi and like, I all that stuff. I was trying the opposite of all the security stuff that you would probably want to do.
Yeah.
Smart man. Sounds like to me. Gents, TripletDad, Fast Abdoul, SaintWolf, you guys on the X? Are you on the YouTube? Are you on the OnlyFans? Where can people find more about you and your dancing and stuff?
I am on X, of course, at 007 McCrypto1, TripletDad 007. And you can always find us in our Telegram rooms, Magic Carpet Ride 369.
I'm everywhere at SaintWolf Vision. That's it.
everywhere.
Fast
I
and
can be
I need
found
the
at,
shirt. Need the shirt. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, I can confirm. By the way, little shout out. This is a one-off hat. Mr. Magruder, this is the PulseChain Hex. This is the dad hat he made once, right? PulseX. Look at the underneath of this hat.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
Hex on the one side, Pulse on the other side. It's got the PulseX logos all over here.
Who does internal gradient with logos and text? Like that's awesome.
It's just, it's unbelievable.
That
Yeah,
one
look at
too.
the underneath
Wow.
of his
Nice.
too. Fast Abdoul's. So next level, you guys. So next
Beautiful.
level.
and they're
Yeah, they have to-
made for big heads too. Like look at how far this can adjust. You know, this actually fits on my head.
For big brains. Wow, that's handy.
100%.
Okay. All right, everyone. That's all we got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.
You got it. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.